Welcome back to Cringeworthy Overland. This is Paul. For this week's Cringeworthy Noteworthy upgrade, I'm going to be replacing my Jeep's original taillights because one of them has a hole in it. This little mishap was entirely my own fault because at one point I reattached the recovery board mounts incorrectly, and when I opened the tailgate, one of the bolts drove right past the brush guard and cracked my taillight. No! User error. User error. Rather than replacing them with the boring Jeep stock taillights, I decided to upgrade them to LED for a touch of modern class. LEDs are known for being bright, energy efficient, and never needing their bulbs replaced. I found this awesome set of LED taillights from LED Factory Mart that are designed for the Jeep Wrangler JK edition. When you open the box, you get the two LED taillights, nicely protected in bubble wrap. And wait, no instruction manual? I guess that means I am the instruction manual. Yeah, I'm the instruction manual. It comes with no instructions, Miso. We are the instructions. Are you up for the challenge? I'm the instruction manual. Let's get to work. Today, I'm going to show you how simple it is to install these. This is a really simple installation, and all you'll need are a Phillips head screwdriver, a pry tool, and some cable ties. Alright, let's start by swapping out the offensive-looking passenger side taillight first. The two sides are actually different, so I'm going to walk you through both. The great thing about Jeep taillights is you can actually do the entire swap from the outside, unlike other cars where you have to go inside the cargo area to undo the screws. The taillight has 4 external screws. The outside 2 screws actually only serve the purpose of holding this brush guard onto the taillight. So in order to remove the taillight, all I have to do is remove these 2 inside screws. Inside, you'll find this one wiring harness, and all you have to do to disconnect the wiring harness is push this tab down and disconnect the harness. If you guys are wondering what all this extra wiring is, it's that I have my backup camera wired into the reverse bulb of my taillight, so you guys don't have to worry about that. And now we've reached the dreaded point of no return. Now we're all in. If you look at the old light next to the new light, you'll see that they're the exact same dimensions, so this should be a pretty precise fit. The main difference is that the LED taillight has this, which is a load resistor. The reason for this is that an LED light draws so much less current than a halogen bulb that if you were to install the LED light without the resistor, your Jeep might think that a bulb had burned out and it would flash a light on your dashboard warning you to change the bulb. This thing creates additional resistance which fools your Jeep into thinking that the original halogen bulb is still there. The load resistor kind of comes with a lot of wiring, so it might be a good idea to neaten this up a little bit and zip tie it before we install. I'm just going to use this small zip tie. There we go. The RH tells us this is the right-hand taillight, so that's the one we're going to be installing now. Okay, now we just connect the wiring harness to the new LED taillight. For most of you guys, you'll just be able to screw in this taillight and then you'll have a complete installation. But for me, since I wired my aftermarket backup camera to the reverse bulb of the taillight, I'm going to go ahead and do that now before I finish the installation. The screws that came pre-installed with the new taillight seem to be different from the ones that came with the Jeep. The ones in the taillight are a different thread, they have a nut on them, and they're shorter. So I think their only purpose was to secure the lens of the taillight to the body. I'm going to take these out and use the original screws from the Jeep. This seems to be a perfect fit, so let's move on to the other side. behind this taillight, there are actually two harnesses. There's one that's the usual one, just like on the other side, and then there's this second harness that actually has nothing to do with the taillight at all. So we're just going to remove that and zip tie it to a safe place, whereas this one we can disconnect like normal. I'm just using a plastic pry tool to remove the second harness from the old taillight. In the end, brute force is the answer. I'll just zip tie these two harnesses together to neaten things up. All right, now we can connect the new LED taillight to this side. And you'll see that on this side, I've also zip tied the load resistor wires together to make them neater. There we go. That looks clean. I'm still going to try to attach my brush guards later, so I'm not going to get too attached to this look. But let's move on to the testing phase now. For the first part of the test, let's, turn on the lights. Yes, they work. They're beautiful. Now for the next phase, I want to see what happens when I apply the brake and when I shift into reverse. Since I won't be able to see what's going on, I could create an elaborate system of mirrors. I could put a rock on the brake pedal like I did when I installed the spare tire brake light, or I could just let technology make me lazy and film it and watch the footage afterwards. I'll choose option 3. Now I'm applying the brakes. Now I have the lights on and I'm applying the brakes. Now I'm throwing it into reverse. My backup camera works. Well, I just watched the footage and lo and behold, everything works. That was pretty simple. In a couple hours, I'm going to give it the darkness test. But for now, with what daylight is left, I'm going to try to reinstall these brush guards and see how they look. To do that, I'm going to remove all 4 screws that are in there now, including the 2 that came with the Jeep, and then the 2 that came with the new LED taillight. The 2 remaining screws that came with the LED taillight are too short to accommodate the brush guard, so at this point, I'm using all 4 screws that the Jeep taillights originally came with. How's that for the perfect blend of rugged and classy? Now we wait for darkness. Okay, now that the sun's gone down, we can really see these lights come to life and do their thing. This is with the lights on. This is with the brake pressed. And this is in reverse. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a good-looking taillight. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching another clean install by Paul. If you like these taillights or you want to check out other taillights by LED Factory Mart, look for the link in the description. And we'll see you next time.